Thank you for watching Live and Local KWN TV.
Welcome to Sheriff's Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7. Join us every week as we talk various aspects of law enforcement and how important it is for the citizens and law enforcement to work together. Now join us for another edition of Sheriff Talk on KWN Live and Local TV Channel 7. And good day, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Sheriff Talk right here on KWN TV, where we take a look at what is happening in law enforcement around the tri-state area in Marion, Jackson, DeKalb, Dade. Well, we've got a big show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking with Marion County Sheriff Bo Barnett. He'll join us this hour. Also, it is the first time that we've had Dade County Sheriff Ray Cross back with us since his election. He'll be here with us. We've got one of his deputies he's just promoted, and we'll talk with the newly promoted Lieutenant Baker coming up on this show today. Also got a lot of news to law enforcement. There's been several drug arrests and other things happening around the tri-state area. Mike's going to run those down for us here in just a second or so. So sit back. It's another edition this week. It's Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV.
Hey, Barn, Aunt Bee don't get around as good as she used to, and she's in need of a lip chair. Well, Andy, you gotta nip it in the bud. Comfort Gallery has catnapper lip chairs in stock with free delivery and setup. Catnapper reclining sofas in leather, designer fabrics, and even camouflage. Catnapper rocker recliners starting at $269. Hey, Andy, I just been over to Comfort Gallery. They also have England sofas by Lazy Boy. Queen-size pillow top mattress sets now $299. King-size sets just $399. Is that a fact? Surprise, surprise, surprise! They now have free 1-year layaway and 6 months same as cash. And listen up, Andy. For the credit challenge, they now offer no credit check payment plans. Located in Kimball, Tennessee in the Old Hills building. That's Comfort Gallery Mattress and Furniture, open 7 days a week. Y'all go by there and see Gary.
Comfort Gallery, 780 Main Street in Kimball. Free delivery and setup, 90 days same as cash, and easy payment plans. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 6, Saturday 9 to 5, and Sunday 1 to 5. Telephone 423-837-3000. The end of spring means the end of the season for Glass Farm Nursery, Highway 11 south of Trenton, 4.5 miles. For the rest of this week only, all perennials, annuals, hanging baskets, and tropicals are half off. That's right, for the rest of the week, perennials, annuals, hanging baskets, and tropicals all half off. It all has to go as the end of the season approaches. The last day is Friday, June 10th at Glass Farm Nursery, 4.5 miles south of Trenton on U.S. Highway 11. A time-tested financial institution equipped with the latest banking technology. The Bank of Dade, with mobile banking to fit your on-the-go lifestyle. Download our latest app today for your iPhone, Android, or tablet to bank on the go. Check your balance, pay bills, make deposits, and keep track of your account anytime and anywhere with the Bank of Dade's smartphone app. Make life easier by using today's most advanced banking technology to your advantage. Call us at 657-6842 or visit on the web at bankofdade.com. Your hometown bank since 1956, the Bank of Dade. Main offices on Highway 11 North in Trenton, and drive-thrus on Highway 11 North and Highway 136 West. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Dobbins Supermarket, serving the community for over 70 years with fresh-cut meats and a full line of grocery items. At Dobbins Supermarket, you'll find local home folks serving the area's weekly grocery needs. Dobbins Supermarket, Highway 71 in Higdon.
This week at Dobbins, find boneless chuck roast, only $3.69 a pound. Fryer leg quarters, 89 cents a pound. Sunnyland Jumbo Franks, 1 pound pack, only 99 cents. And breaded chicken fingers, $1.89 a pound, only at Dobbins Supermarket. Join us right here every week for Set the Hook with Pat Rose on KWN Live and Local TV. Right now, here to Sheriff Talk here on KWN. I'm welcome on the set with us. Welcome back, Sheriff Ray Cross.
Good to be back.
And Sheriff's back after an election cycle. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up. Also, you got the newly appointed Lieutenant Baker with us. And in just a second, we're going to be joined by Marion County Sheriff Bo Barnett. But first, Mike's going to run down a couple of things that are happening in the news. Several drug busts this week, and then we'll get the latest, and then we'll be right back with
with the sheriffs here.
All right, gentlemen, we'll roll over to the Mountain Valley Independent and let you see a few of the articles that are posted there now. It's been quite an active last week or so by the Dade County Sheriff's Department. A total of 9 people have been arrested in Dade County after traffic stops, canine alerts. The first of those happening on Saturday the 4th, or actually the second of them. The top article on the Mountain Valley Independent is where Dade County Deputy Casey York observed some suspicious activity in a vehicle, Sparrow Drive, and made a traffic stop there. During questioning, he had some indicators of criminal activity there. All 5 suspects were asked to get out of the vehicle. There was a 5-week-old juvenile in the vehicle as well. Canine dog Rossi alerting to several locations on the vehicle while there. Deputy York found methamphetamine residue bags as well as several straws with residue and marijuana inside the vehicle. There you see those who were arrested. 31-year-old Rebecca Michelle Marshall, 25-year-old Candace Michelle Freeman. She's from Flintstone, Georgia. We'll move that back up so you can see it. I'll have to move it again here in just a couple of moments. 27-year-old Brandon Lee Skiles of Chattanooga, 28-year-old Terry Lee McClure of Rossville, and 22-year-old Matthew Nathaniel Colby Goff of Trenton, all on drug charges. Now, Freeman had additional traffic arrests as well, additional traffic charges in that as well. Let me move down the page. I'll show you some of the items that were collected by the Sheriff's Department. The computer's not moving as fast as I'd like for it to be, but there are some of the items that were found in the vehicles confiscated during that particular traffic stop where the 5 were arrested on various drug charges here in Dade County. Second such stop in recent weeks, Dade County officers arresting a Trenton man, several younger people, all from out of the county just a week ago, all charged with drug offenses, and we move back up the page and show you those folks. That was on May 31st at about 2:40 in the morning. Same officer, Casey York, making a routine traffic stop there on Sand Mountain near White Oak Baptist Church. He approached the car. Suspected drugs were present. The K9 did a free air search there and hit on multiple drugs there. Arrested 50-year-old Clayton Eugene Hartline of Tally Road in Trenton. Also Chelsea Brett Gill of Ringgold, Georgia. Stephen Dale Dunaway, who's also from Ringgold. Christian McRobbie of Fort Oglethorpe, arrested in that, and you see those 4 on the screen there, all with drug charges against them, with the exception of Gill, who also had the traffic charges against her as well. And let me move right down the page here. There's one other thing that I want to mention to you, and I hope I didn't take it out. I don't believe I did. I think I just moved it down. This is from DeKalb County, where we had some graduates of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Academy down there. DeKalb County Sheriff Jimmy Harris announcing the graduation of Stephen Michael Berry, Jerry Weston Fortner, and Dustin Levi Summerford Jones, all from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Academy. That graduation was held a couple of Sundays ago at the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center. It's a 14-month program, and it happens every other weekend for those officers. Started out with 50 students, had 36 left when it was over, and 18 were from sheriff's offices around the area, the other 18 from police departments. And Sheriff Harris made a statement regarding that. He congratulated his deputies on that and he says they will do a fantastic job for the citizens of DeKalb County. So you have those pictured there. All of that in the Mountain Valley Independent, and of course you can get your news up to date anytime. DiscoverDade.com. You can follow us on Facebook at KWN News Now for that as well. Let's go back to the desk where we have the sheriffs as well as now it's Lieutenant Baker now, right? Is that correct? I believe that's right.
I believe so, Mike.
I believe that's Lieutenant Baker now, and of course Evan Stone, all out at the table.
All right, thank you there, Mike, for that update. Welcome back to Sheriff Talk here on KWN. We're joined now with, of course, Sheriff Bo Burnett from Marion County, and the new lieutenant down to his left, Lieutenant Baker, and of course Sheriff Ray Cross back after an election cycle. And I guess before we really get started with the program today, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
And give you a couple of seconds to talk to the folks here about that.
Well, I just want to thank all the supporters that voted for me. I appreciate it very much, and we're going to try to continue doing a good job like we have in the past. And like one of our big things is getting drugs off the streets. And as you just seen, we had a couple arrests already that I got several people off the streets, and going to continue to do that.
Well, Sheriff, of course, and kind of explain. When someone is running for office, we did at the beginning of when you kind of stepped away from Sheriff Talk, you actually have to come off because you have to give anybody that's running, if there's 4 or 5 people running, you have to give them equal time.
Right.
And I kind of alluded or equated it to the fact that when, like, Mike Huckabee left Fox News when his show on the weekend when he declared he was going to run for president because he couldn't have that show on Fox News because all 17 could request the same hour's time on Fox on the weekend. So that's the reason you haven't been here for a while, with the exception of when you have some news. A couple of times you came on and talked about different stories, but we're glad to have you back.
Right. Well, okay, good to be back. Thank you.
And now you don't have to worry about anything for another 3.5-4 years.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
well, let me just say you won't have to worry about being on the show.
Right.
But, we won't have
Right.
to worry about that for fear.
When you stop worrying, then you're in trouble.
That's exactly right, Sheriff.
Well, I guess with that, you want to go ahead and make the announcement here. You want to we've already made it, Lieutenant Baker.
Yeah, we've myself and Major Bradford have appointed Nathan Baker now as our lieutenant, and he'll be over, I think, B shift. Is that correct, Lieutenant? So Nathan's a good guy, and most people in the county know him, and he'll do a good job at that.
Now, Lieutenant Hughes works opposite shifts. Now, he's the daytime lieutenant, right?
Right. Yes, he is.
So Lieutenant Baker will be working when Lieutenant Hughes is off.
Yes, and we posted this position here about a month or so ago, and we had several applicants that inside the department that applied for it, and it's a tough decision because we have good officers that are all qualified for it, but we chose Lieutenant Baker. Think he'll do a good job at it.
All right, Lieutenant, welcome. Welcome. I guess it'll take a little while to get used to that. People call you Lieutenant.
I'm fine with Baker anyway. That's me.
We got a new mayor in town, Alex Case, and every time I say, hey, Mayor, he'll shake his head and say, I'm Alex.
Yeah, that's what he tells me. I'll call him Mayor. He'll say, okay, Ray.
Well, that's show of respect. I do.
It
It is. David Jackson and I have been friends for 25, 30 years, but I still call him Mayor out of respect because
Sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially, with...
you get used to calling them Mayor, and then it's hard to use their first name or whatever, so...
Well, I even do that. I know, like Johnny Bradford, who is vice president of one of the local banks here, but he was our probate judge for years. I still call him judge.
Yeah, sure.
Just out of respect to the fact that, and former sheriffs, you got Sheriff Morgan. I mean, he's a magistrate judge now, but he was sheriff here, so, technically he could still
That's
be
what
called...
I call him Sheriff every time I see him.
Yeah, be able to do that. I noticed he was a 4-year, one time, didn't run again. He got the message.
Smarter than the rest of us.
He is a lot smarter.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're going to take a break. Stay with us. More to come here on Sheriff Talk.
Methamphetamine affects everyone, your neighbors, your friends, and even your family.
Know the signs.
Physical symptoms include you may have extreme difficulty sleeping and even insomnia, and you may lose your appetite.
Know the signs. Please know the signs.
You can seem nervous and anxious and even have paranoia.
Know the signs.
Overheat easily and sweat without even being hot.
Know the signs.
Dilated pupils and even hair loss.
Know the signs.
Hallucinations and delusions. And you can also have tachycardia, which is a rapid heart rate.
Know the signs.
You may have liver damage and loss of skin elasticity.
Know the signs.
You may notice unexplained financial instability and social isolation.
Know the signs.
You may have a false sense of euphoria, coupled with strong depression and even risky behavior, legal trouble, memory loss, and repeated incarceration.
Please know the signs. Unfortunately, we do.
Tennessee Valley Net, your local provider of fiber optic high-speed internet, TV with over 200 digital channels available, and phone service with lots of extras. Fiber optics from TVN is expanding to many areas. Call and see if TVN is available in your area. 706-657-4367 or log on at tvn.net today. Bundle and save on fiber optic high-speed internet, digital TV, and phone service. All from Tennessee Valley Net. 706-657-4367. Online at tvn.net. Cabins to Castles is your home furnishing superstore. Now in our new location on Highway 136 West behind the Kangaroo, Cabins to Castles has everything you need to furnish your home. Bedroom and dining room suites, recliners, accessories, and more. Choose from name brands including Ashley, Catnapper, $1 Million Rustic, Coaster, and the Duck Dynasty line. Cabins to Castles, open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6, and Saturday, 9 to 4 at their new location, Highway 136 West behind the Kangaroo, just off I-59 in Trenton.
Home is where the heart is.
Hey everybody, bacon is back at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
That's right, it's Little Caesars bacon-wrapped crust deep dish pizza. Our 8-corner pizza topped with pepperoni and bacon and wrapped in more than 3.5 feet of bacon. Get a large today for just $12. Little Caesars bacon-wrapped crust deep dish pizza is available all day. And it's available hot and ready from 4 until 8 every day. Little Caesars, Highway 136 West in Trenton and 411 Kimball Crossing in Kimball.
Find out what's happening around town every Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. Join us for Around Town on KWN TV.
Back now here to Sheriff Talk on KWN TV. I want to ask Sheriff Bo Barnett, you got a really, we've been talking about one investigation, and we'll get to it in just a second, but just since you've been on the show, you've got an active investigation going on in the town of Whitwell. What can you tell us that is happening thus far and where you're at?
Well, we're assisting the TBI in that case. Of course, it was Jerry Ridge that owned the pawn shop, and autopsy did decide that he was had been murdered. And of course, it's tragic. You know, his nephew is Wesley, the one I've been talking about down here that's missing. But anyhow, we've submitted, I think, between us and TBI to get over 100 pieces of evidence to the lab. We do have a person of interest in custody at the jail. This person hadn't been charged with this yet, but. Met with the Attorney General last week. We're just basically waiting on some stuff to come back from the lab. So, you know, and it makes it hard on it. And the sheriff can tell you know, on TV that stuff comes back, they'll submit it or take it to the lab and they get the results right then. It's not that way here. We have sent it to Nashville. You know, we're probably in our 3rd week waiting on some of this stuff to come back, but. As soon as we hear something back from the lab, we hope to go forward with this case.
It was really a tragic, case, but it was what I thought was kind of odd is the fact that it's, you were first alerted in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's like, I think the call come in at 15 to 5, and actually the pawn shop was only maybe a block or half a block from City Hall, and they were actually having a budget meeting, and somebody came by and seen smoke coming underneath the front door and called, and the fire department got there and the door was locked and had to break the glass to get in, and then to go over to put the fire out, and that's when they discovered the body back behind the counter.
Sheriff, you were talking about the nephew. Are they related in any way, or do you know?
No, there's nothing to show that there's any relationship between Wesley and Missing in this case. It's just the Ridge family's had some tragic here last 3 or 4 months, and again, I've said it over and over. Again, we have money out there for Wesley, who's not been heard from since March the 8th. $15,000 reward for any information. I've news media's put that out for me several times, but we just haven't had any leads come in. So, but again, I know the family well, and then Jerry, I knew Jerry well. He was running the pawn shop there in Whitwell, I guess, for probably the last 15 or 20 years, and know all the family. So I would just like to provide some closure on both of them for them. And unfortunately, as anybody in law enforcement tell you, sometimes these things take time. I can't make the TBI crime lab go any faster. I really have no authority over them. We use them they're the only lab we have in the state of Tennessee, so you having probably 300 departments sending evidence to them, it just takes time, but I hope we can go forward here pretty soon on this case.
All right. Well, thank you for that update. I know it's been a topic, and it's been very tragic for the family, and And then been a topic of discussion, in Marion County. Marion County's like Dade County. It's there's a lot of land mass, but it's still small.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows everybody.
Right.
Like the families there, and the people that, especially the families that have grown up and raised up there. For like that. Sheriff, I know that our crime lab, and I'm talking about the state of Georgia, you got similar type situations too. That because of money restraints, they just don't have the manpower to be able to get you the evidence back as quick as you sometimes need it.
We're like Sheriff Burnett. There's in Nashville, ours is in Atlanta, and it's the only crime lab for us here in North Georgia and most of Middle Georgia, and so they have a lot of cases that are down there. And once we send evidence to the crime lab, it takes sometimes months and sometimes even close to a year to get any evidence back from there. So. And they stay booked up. I know I took a body down there one time and to the morgue, and they're just stacked up in there. It's just amazing how overwhelmed they are with evidence.
Well, I mean, I think all the states are like that because of money.
Well, years ago we used to have a crime lab here in Chattanooga, which was handy for us. Now we have to physically. You can't mail this evidence. You can mail a blood sample for our DUI, but the 100 pieces of evidence that we had, it had to physically be taken over there. And I think TBI's made one trip, and my guys made one trip. But time you pull somebody off the road, send them over there and get back, it kills a day. So it's a all-day process.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to get that back. And you was talking about, we had a crime lab here in Georgia that was actually pretty close in Chattooga County, and we've still got the building. They built a brand new facility down there, and it operated for a number of years, but because of budget restraints, have you heard of anything about, maybe opening that back up?
Actually, I'm having lunch today with Chattooga County Sheriff Mark Schrader, and they were looking at using that for some part of their department down there. I don't know if that's still in the process or not. We had talked to him about putting an academy there, talked with Post and some of the people at the academy, training academy, and it just didn't meet their specifications to put one there. But I think Chattooga County's looking at that building, from what I understand.
All right. You're watching Sheriff Talk here on KWN. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the sheriffs coming up right here on KWN TV.
Hey, Martin, my lawn could use some help.
Okay, Scott's Fertilizer. We got it right here.
Hey, Martin, you got any birdseed?
Of course, right here. Hey, Ross, you need some help?
Oh, no, just got some of your mail.
Getting help at Ace is like going to your neighbor.
Right now at Case Ace Hardware, get Home Defense Max Insect Killer, $5.99 a gallon with your Ace Rewards card. Get a 20-volt DeWalt cordless compact drill set, just $99.99. And Ace Wild Bird Food, 2 20-pound bags, just $12. June Red Hot buys right now at Case Ace Hardware, 11665 South Main Street in Trenton. Hey, you looking for that next new-to-you vehicle? Well, Rayburn Cloud at Cloud Auto Sales has just what you're looking for. Right now, how about a 99 Chevy Silverado 1500? 4.3 V6, real nice, only $5,995. How about an 08 Nissan Versa? Real nice car with cold air and all the power, only $4,995. Or an 02 Ford Ranger XLT 4x4 off-roader, 4-liter V6 with all the power, only $5,995. See Rayburn Cloud today at Cloud Auto Sales, Alabama Highway 71 in Higdon, 597-3273 for Cloud Auto Sales, and like us on Facebook.
At Gross Furniture in Trenton, Georgia, you get the savings, the selection, and the satisfaction of getting the furniture you deserve at the prices you want. Come in, relax, and take your time. Our staff can assist you with the entire process, from expert advice to professional delivery. That's because Gross Furniture is local and treats you with honesty. Just north of the Courthouse Square on Highway 11 in Trenton. Gross Furniture, the home furnishing store that offers you more.
Delivering top quality health care locally, we are Northeast Alabama Health Services. With 7 locations, there's one near you. Scottsboro, Section, North Sand Mountain in Higdon, Skyline, Woodville, Fife, and Fort Payne. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and of course your private insurance. If you're unemployed, low income, or have a high copay or deductible, you may also qualify for a reduced rate office visit as low as $16. Ask about our free medication program. And ladies, you may qualify for a free or reduced rate mammogram. And cervical cancer screenings are available too. Putting your health concerns first. We're Northeast Alabama Health Services.
HVAC repair and service you can count on from S&S Service Company, a locally owned and operated business that uses high-quality materials on every job. Call on our crews for regular maintenance, minor repairs, and new installations. Spurgeon is a name that's been trusted for decades, so if you need an energy-efficient HVAC system, we've got you covered with Arco Air products. Arco Air and S&S Service Company. Enduring performance. S&S is fully licensed and serves the Northeast Alabama and surrounding area. Call 256-632-2500 today for S&S Service Company for your HVAC needs. Online at snsservicecompany.com.
Join us every week for Game On with Chris Goforth on KWN TV.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. Sheriff Bo Burnett from Marion County, Dade County Sheriff Ray Cross, and Lieutenant Baker with the Dade County Sheriff's Department, one of the road lieutenants newly appointed to his duties. We welcome you back to the program, and coming up this weekend, over the next couple of weeks, we got a lot of traffic to deal with. It is that time of year. It's mid-June, and it's Riverbend and Bonnaroo. And it's
you do not go towards Nashville on probably Thursday or Friday. Because my understanding, I've never been over. I've had officers that have been over our work and stuff. That exit, I think I heard a guy tell me last year he sat in traffic 8 hours before he got inside.
Wow.
I thought, now, he's going to go Bonnaroo. He'll walk worse than I would.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. I can't think.
8 hours sitting in the car and waiting to get in there.
More than 30 minutes, and I don't even know if it'd be worth it. Not to me. No,
me either.
I haven't. The Bonnaroo, it really cripples Middle Tennessee, especially along the interstate and all those small towns through there.
I used to call the sheriff over in Coffee County, Steve Grays. I've known him for years. I hadn't called him a couple of years. I used to call him about 2 weeks before the Bonnaroo. Asked if he helped me get some tickets. And he slammed phone in my ear. Aggravate him because they're out in force probably about 4 or 5 days. Make a bunch of arrests on drugs and things. But
I know we've got our task force over here, I believe, today.
Starting today through end of the week.
Yeah, our drug task force officers are on the interstate today through the whole week, looking for drug activity going from here to Bonnaroo.
Well, a lot of people, you talk about, Riverbend and then Bonnaroo. Bonnaroo is more of an out. I've never been, but they say it's more in an out, open area, I guess.
I believe it's a big farm that they have it on. I'm like you, I've never been, don't plan on going, but I think it's kind of, like you said, it's just the roads are so narrow, getting to it, evidently, it just really shuts traffic down for you for 10 or 12 hours. So.
Yeah. Well, just be on the alert of that, because there are going to be some drivers that are driving impaired, and that, like you said, the history will tell you there's people going to be. Obviously, if they're partaking of drugs on the scene, they had to be trafficked in there at some point in time by someone. So there's going to be a lot of that, a lot of traffic out on the roads of illegal activity.
I'm afraid because of it, and Riverbend's coming up and the traffic there, but with all the activity, our jail is about getting close to capacity now, so we may be having to house people out if we make a lot of arrests through that.
Bo Burnett, he can tell you all about being capacity.
Sure. I've been over capacity for the last 5 years. Population has gone down, so I think we had 127 this morning. And actually, we have state certified for 118 beds. So, of course, back last fall, it was up to 155 or 60. We had them stacked everywhere. And like I said, it's gone down some, but always overcrowded.
Sheriff, I know I've asked you this, or you may have talked about it before, but you house for everybody in the county, or so every city brings them.
Nobody has a jail, but the city's got out of jail probably 20 years ago. When the state came in and started doing inspections and started having certain mandates for this and that, the city just couldn't afford it. So it's all on me now.
Well, it just makes good sense. Everybody in one place, one meals. I don't
always agree with the jail inspectors. I think sometimes it's jail, and they just they're just picky on things. I just think I would give two thoughts about, but it kind of got you over a barrel because to keep you jail certified, you have to meet their qualifications, and the book's about that thick. And if you don't, I mean, that doesn't mean you shut the jail down if they decertify you. But I'm under an order now over overcrowded, and I have to go through these steps every year to keep the jail. So I go to Nashville in December and go before the board and and tell them what I'm trying to do to overcrowded. Of course, Hamilton County's really in bad shape if you've kept up with that. They're actually thinking about spending about $50 or $60 million for a new jail, but I don't want nobody mistreated, but sometimes I think the state goes overboard on what we have to do to keep these jails certified.
Are you landlocked to expand there where you're at?
I might have a little room on the backside, but probably, as far as, I'm basically landlocked. It was built there in town, and there's a little room on the backside, but I hadn't really pushed for an expansion until I'm going to have to do that next year or so. But right now I can survive. But we made all their qualifications except I'm overcrowded. Here's what gets me: I'm overcrowded because I have state inmates. One arm of the state overcrowds me, then the other arm of the state comes in and says, I want to decertify me because of the state inmates. I thought, well, I'm in a vicious circle,
Right. Well, I mean, you don't want to do it, but you think about it. So, well, we're not overcrowded anymore, but I've got a busload out here. Where do you want me to take them?
Yeah.
Bring them
we
home.
usually hold about 35 to 40 state inmates. If I didn't have them, I'd be. Of course, again, on the other side, they pay us to hold them, so we make money off of them too. But still, it just gets aggravated. Like I said, one arm of the government is causing you to be overcrowded, then the other arm of the government comes in and wants to decertify you because you're overcrowded, and it's just
we went through a process. Our jail was condemned way back in the 80s when Sheriff even before Sheriff Street came in, but we went through a process of when we got our jail built. And I know you were working as a road officer, that we were housing a lot of people because other jails in North Georgia didn't have any rooms anymore. So we got a newly operated 72-bed facility and made quite a bit of money.
Yeah, especially Bartow County, we housed a lot of their prisoners. We were under a federal court order, which just my last term, we got that lifted. So when you're under a federal court order like that, there's a lot of do's and don'ts you do, just like the sheriff said, and a lot of restrictions that they have you on. So getting rid of that court order helped us, save a lot of money also. So some things you used to have to do now you don't have to. So that saved a lot of money for the county.
Well, and the other thing too, you don't house as many prisoners anymore for other facilities.
Right. Every inmate we've got now just about is people we've arrested here in Dade County. We're not housed anymore, and we're up at almost capacity now. So that means the deputies are doing their job out here. So I'm very proud of it. Matter of fact, as I look, I've got a couple of task force guys coming in the door now that are been out working. I guess they're coming in for lunch. That they're out on the interstates.
Sheriff, before we get off of the jail, you just recently got approval for the video surveillance. How's that going? Or
I've just submitted the contracts about 2 weeks ago, but I'm hoping this. One of the biggest problems I have is visitation. By law, we have to give them visitation once a week for at least 35, 40 minutes. And Saturdays and Sundays are all day. Spend all day my staff moving inmates back and forth for visitation. So that's what I was telling the commission. The jail's back here and the visitation room's up here, so we have to move. And anytime you take inmates out of a secure facility and to move them, there's always a possibility of problems. So if I can get this installed and it works good, that'll eliminate that. They'll do all there'll be monitors up in the lobby. The company you'll have to call the company. They'll set up a time and date, and you come in and you'll sit there in front of the lobby and you'll visit whoever you're there to visit in the cell. Plus, they're going to have off-site. So if an example I gave them was, if you live in, say, Michigan and you've got a grandson in jail and still driving all the way down here, spending gas, money, $40 for 40 minutes, you can visit online from your home if you have internet access. And we make money off of that. We get 20% of that sales. So I hope to make some. The company thinks it'll make enough money to pay for equipment. Equipment was $113,000. So see how that works out.
Well, it's a safety issue too, because you don't have to move them, and anytime you move prisoners, you take a risk.
I know Hamilton County just went to that system, and Jackson County had. I don't know if you have it or not.
We've had it for quite a while now.
Have you?
Yeah,
works good.
It works very good.
Yeah.
It helps the families out too. Like I say, if they're in another state or something, instead of driving all the way down there, they can just get on the internet and visit.
Plus, it's got some safety items in it. If somebody gets on and does something crazy, we actually can have a computer, so kind of like monitored it. If they can get on there and do things crazy, they can actually cut it off. And
yeah, it's all recorded, and it's a facial recognition. Once that, if they're on the computer and they're talking to their family, and if that moves off their face, it goes to a black screen. Yeah. So that's some safety issues that they have in there.
Well, that's so they've been able to put some software in there that recognizes that just a face and be able to talk back and forth. That's very interesting. And like you say, there's some people that can do this. From the safety of their own home, don't have to drive or anything, and so the visitation can actually take place where you don't have to have the manpower to do it.
Right, anywhere in the United States, I guess. If you've got internet access, the company has a 800 number. You call it, and they'll set you up. And of course, they collect the payment and all that. We don't have to collect anything, and certain time, certain date, it'll just come on, and whoever you're wanting to visit, they'll be on one screen, and you'll see them on the other screen.
Technology has helped out law enforcement tremendously in all aspects of law enforcement, and that's one of the ways that it's really done a good job.
All right. Well, we're talking law enforcement. This is Sheriff Talk. We're going to take another break, and we'll be right back here on KWN TV.
We can all use a little extra cash. But with so many choices out there, who can you trust? At National Title Pawn, you'll find that our people are honest, our rates are the lowest, and our approach is the fairest. Open your credit line for even faster service and ask about our free gas program. Need to cash a check? National Title Pawn is licensed in Georgia and Tennessee. National Title Pawn. Good people, helping good people.
Join National Title Pawn from 11 to 2 for a kids' cookout. Kids of all ages welcome. BDS Wholesale and Salvage Grocery, now open off Alabama Highway 73 in Bryant, behind Moore Funeral Home. Check out our super deals on paper products, canned goods, health and beauty aids, cereal, and name brand laundry detergent. Enjoy new items including baby supplies and dog food. Yes, we're on a dead-end street, but the values are endless. Open Wednesday through Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 11 to 3. BDS Wholesale and Salvage Grocery off of Alabama Highway 73 on County Road 717 in Bryant. A small bank with big service. Citizens Bank and Trust, offering a wide range of services, including online banking. Pay your bills, manage your account anytime, 24 hours a day. Your account balance is only a phone call away as well at 657-1234. Or visit our convenient locations. Lookout Mountain, Georgia, Higdon, Alabama, and our main branch on Highway 11 in Trenton. Citizens Bank and Trust, 657-5678. A community bank that believes in the community. Citizens Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Mosey on over to the Cozy Corner on Sand Mountain. Cozy Corner is your one-stop shop for unique gifts and valued treasures. At Cozy Corner, you can shop through numerous booths to find exactly what you're looking for. Antiques to new, there's something for you at the Cozy Corner. The Cozy Corner is open at the Crossroads, Sand Mountain, Highway 136 West and Highway 301. Open Tuesday through Saturday 10 till 5 and till 6 on Friday. Come see us today at the Cozy Corner.
All right, Mr. King, how do you know the defendant?
You're much prettier in person, to be honest with you, pretty.
Sir, we are not in the club or a bar. Talk about your case. If you lie to me, you will lose. If you try to perpetrate a fraud on this court, you will be held accountable. Do not interrupt while I'm ruling.
Judge Faith Rules. Back-to-back episodes every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central on KWN TV.
Back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN TV. Of course, visiting with the sheriffs, Marion County Sheriff Bo Burnett and Dade County Sheriff Ray Cross, along with new Lieutenant Baker. He's been with us several shows now. Lieutenant, your duties. You've been law enforcement for several years now.
It's 1999.
It's a long time. And
it's a very long time.
Just to be able to, it's been primarily working on the road, and now you'll be over, I guess, one of the shifts, one of the 2 daytime shifts.
A long time is when you started in 1979.
Yes, that's right.
People look at
like
me.
that's a world away now.
Still tell me, they're like, well, you can't be much over 30 years old. And I'm like, a lot older than that. Well,
you come from a tradition of law enforcement. Your dad was a police officer, I know, for a number of years.
I said about I had an officer in the academy, and she was, every class they put on the wall of the academy, and you can go through there. She said, won't find a picture, and I said, you're gonna have to go way down the wall,
way down the hall,
because they run about, I think they do 4 classes a year, so. You can imagine in the last 30 years how many classes that is. I think our picture was black and white. I don't think they had color pictures back then.
Where do y'all's academy go? Where do y'all go?
Donaldson and Nashville.
Nashville?
Actually, we have 3 that are certified by the state. Donaldson is more, you stay there at the barracks. It's more, away from home. Cleveland has an academy, and then there's another one out in up in East Tennessee. A college does it, but I send most of my people to Donaldson. When I went, it was 6 weeks. Now it's 12. I don't know what they do for 12 weeks. I thought 6 weeks was a plenty, but it costs you a lot of money, the fee. Plus you have to pay their salary. Cleveland down here, Cleveland will accept you if you're not a full-time officer. Donaldson, you got to be full-time officer with the department before you can go through Donaldson. So
we've got a similar type setup. I think we've got some colleges that you can actually, if you just want to be a certified post officer, you can go through, you can pay your own way, and then try to get hired on, I guess.
That's what you do at Cleveland. You can pay your own way. Like I said, Donaldson doesn't accept you. If you're not full-time with the department, you can't go through Donaldson. So.
And Forsyth is pretty much like Donaldson, where you go and you stay.
Yeah, they have barracks there and everything. Matter of fact, we got 2 officers down there now that are going through mandate schools.
Be able to do that. Sheriff, I want to ask you, at the beginning of the show today, Mike was going over a couple of different traffic stops that led to arrest, where there were multiple people in the car. But one thing we noticed, there was some 40 and 50-year-old people along with a bunch of teenagers, and it was all on drug charges. And I believe both sets. Is that becoming a trend where you've got carloads?
Well, these drugs don't discriminate on age, gender, or anything else. And I know one of the stops, one of our guys, he's still on parole. He was stopped in the car with 4 or 5 other young people. Drugs all in the car. They all got arrested. The other night we had some older people in the car with younger people. And this last one, Saturday night, I'm going to give Casey York credit for this. He stopped this van on the side of Sand Mountain, and there was 5 or 6 people in the car, and they had a 2-month-old baby in the car. And that just upset me terribly, to have this young child in this car with all these drugs. And probation and parole came in yesterday, and some of these people are going to be revoked, sent back to prison. And one girl was in trouble out of Tennessee. They're going to transition her back to Tennessee. So, it's just crazy how they'll put everything else above these drugs, and even a young child, and it just infuriates you sometimes.
I think what bridges the gap between the younger and older people, pills. Seems like pills. That's all we hear. Pills.
Pills is a big one. Like I said, I've got one of my task force guys. He can't come on camera, but he can tell you right now there's a big pill problem along with methamphetamines, and a lot of that can go to some of the doctors that write these prescriptions, and so we're trying everything we can do and every resource that we can. And I know myself and Sheriff Burnett and Sheriff Phillips over in Jackson County, we all get together quarterly and try to
It's about
try to
time
work
we
this.
get that set up. I think it's my time this section.
But we work hard on trying to get this through our states.
And ultimately, I mean, of course, you hear us as we report and we talk about it. I mean, y'all do a great job on arresting and getting these folks. I mean, your jail capacity, Jackson County always stays full. Dade County is full, but once you get on these drugs, you can't get a job. Even if you're out of jail, you can't pass the drug test.
I seen the other night on something they did a study. I think it was every 28 minutes somebody dies from overdose nationwide.
Yeah, we've had several.
Can you just think every 28 minutes? That's just.
I had a lady call this morning, just while we're on this subject, about drugs or whatever, any kind of arrest, and she was asking me about, why did y'all let this person out? I said, ma'am, let me get something straight with you. I said, we don't let people out. I said, we put people in jail that are committing crimes. I said, we don't let them out. I said, now, once they get arrested, they have to, by law, have a bond set. And the judge doesn't let him out. They just has to set a bond. That's by law. And then it goes through the court systems. But I made it plain that we do not let people out. Our job is to lock people up that are committing crimes.
Well, there's we have a justice system, and you do within 72 hours that you have to have, depending on the type of case. I mean, there is some cases that sometimes they won't set a bond depending on the severity of it. Mm-hmm. But usually,
the only way they won't set a bond there in Tennessee is the DA has to show the judge that this person might be a flight risk or a danger to get back out. Mm-hmm. Those two, if they can prove those two items, then they usually no bond them. And we have a lot of people in jail pre-trial that are under no bond right now just because multiple DUIs or wife don't live here and there's possibility to make bond. Another thing is when I started there was one bonding company. Now there's probably just in Marion County there's probably 10 or 12, and it's competitive. And they're over there court setting all the time. And as soon as they get bond sets, they're down there trying to get them. So I mean, that's one reason people get out of jail faster now is so many bonding companies are working around the Justice Center. And I'm sure down here same way. Like I said, when I started, there's only one. Now I think there's probably 8 or 10 now working out of Marion County.
Well, especially when you're drugs, and I know that Sheriff Cross, you've talked about this numerous times, is the fact that if somebody's on methamphetamine especially, it seems to be more on methamphetamine. Once they go in and they make bond, sometimes they can have multiple charges in multiple different instances where they've been rearrested, but before they ever go to trial for the first case.
Yeah, a lot of them get out on bond and they'll get right back on the drugs and get rearrested again. And we have a problem with the state also as far as our overcrowding in prisons and stuff, and they're trying to, somebody will be on probation or something, and they'll go to court and they'll revoke their probation, reinstate them, and put them on more probation, trying to, keep them out of the penal system.
And the federal system's getting more lax. We used the federal system for years, but I noticed here the last 6 to 8 months, they've been releasing a lot of people back out of the federal system. I get a notification from the feds, and I didn't know that the federal prison system is overcrowded too. It's of course, a lot of those guidelines were set up back mid-'80s stuff on people that have third offense or whatever drug problems when they've had felons. Some of them got lifetime sentences, and a lot of those being reduced, and people are getting out. So,
and probably ISS question, y'all can comment if you want to, but you go through and you're repeatedly arresting the same person over and over and over. Is the upfront penalty not good enough? I mean, is there not a deterrent there to not make them? I mean, obviously, you just don't lock somebody up just to be locking them up. It's supposed to be for a deterrent and to rehabilitate someone or to let people, when they get out, to have another chance not to go back to the same thing.
Well, 2 of these guys we got the other night, they've been in prison for years, on and off, in and out of prison. And some of them, that's just their lifestyle. They can't cope out here in society without doing drugs or committing crimes, and that's just a revolving door for them.
I've heard people say rehabilitate them, but I don't know how you do that. I don't have the funding to do that. My philosophy is, if I want to get off of them, I think it's a personal thing. A lot of the money that when I first started, there was places everywhere for state funded people for drug problem stuff. A lot of that money's dried up. I mean, there's just and people go to a local one here in Chattanooga 25, 30 days. That doesn't do them no good. Mm-hmm. When they get out, they're worse than before. Yeah. So
we have some rehab places that the judge can order them to go to through a court order. We also, in our county, we have what's called Celebrate Recovery. It's a faith-based church down here that they even teach it in the jail back there. Our jail administrator has a program for them set up in there that they can study through that. And then once they get out, we encourage them to go to that, because that other people there's been on drugs, and they kind of help each other in a sort of a way of rehabilitation. But it doesn't cost us anything to do it because the church is putting that on. But like the sheriff says, there's just not money and funds out there.
Judge Perry, that's retired circuit judge, he had a tragedy in his family. He runs a drug court, and they're pretty strict. And we send people over there that actually they have a board, and you have to go down, sit before the board. You have to convince the board that you really want this. And of course, he has a large failure rate, and he's told me, I know we're going to lose a lot of, but his philosophy, if I can save one out of, say, 25 or 30, that one is going to really help. That's going to reduce it. So you can get one every now and then, but they run a tight ship over there. They got some grants and stuff, and once you have to serve so many days in jail, then when you get out, then you go to a halfway house, and then when you get there, but they track them pretty close and revoke a lot of them. But that's helped a lot.
I've seen some success with our Celebrate Recovery program. I went there, me and my jail captain took about 20 inmates here a few weeks ago, and there was probably 5 or 6 that had got out of jail that had been going to this program and haven't missed a night on I think it's Tuesday nights or Thursday nights that they go, and they haven't missed a night. And then we had a girl come in the other day that had been arrested and got her life straightened out, and she came in and talked to the inmates. And so it's working, and I want to say on a large scale.
I tell them, my philosophy is, I tell them, when you get out of jail, if you don't change your lifestyle, you're going to be back.
Exactly.
You can't run around the same people you run around with before. You need to go out and get away from those people. Because if you talk to those people who's been in jail and get out, first thing they do, those people that you were running around with, they're going to start coming around. You're going to have to just put your foot down and say, go on, leave me alone. Because I tell them, I say, you get in the car with them person, ride around, first thing you know, somebody's going to pull out something, drug, some kind, then you're going to be right back in the same cycle. Yeah. And it's left up to them to break the cycle. I can't do it, and the sheriff can't do it. I mean, it's a personal thing. I've always felt strongly that way. You've got to break the cycle. Sheriff, I can't do it.
The other night when we got these in the van, several of them are on probation and stuff, and I said, when you get out of jail or you get out of prison or whatever, you get put on probation, they read you a list of stuff you're supposed to stay away from. You're supposed to know who you're hanging around with. And I said, they were claiming they didn't know the drugs were in there. Well, you're supposed to know before you get in a vehicle. And of course, we knew that they all knew they were in there.
Yeah, they know it. I've heard that old story. I didn't know. Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's
Tell the judge. He ain't gonna believe it either. So.
We'll continue talking here on Sheriff Talk. We'll take another break. Stay with us.
When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Mr. Rooter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before any work begins. We even pump septic tanks and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Rooter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710.
A small bank with big service. Citizens Bank and Trust, offering a wide range of services, including online banking. Pay your bills, manage your account anytime, 24 hours a day. Your account balance is only a phone call away as well at 657-1234. Or visit our convenient locations. Lookout Mountain, Georgia, Higdon, Alabama, or our main branch on Highway 11 in Trenton. Citizens Bank and Trust, 657-5678. A community bank that believes in the community. Citizens Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
They're moms, dads. They're part of your community. They live on your street. They employ your neighbors. They're America's 12,000 Allstate agents. They live near you, they know what you need, and they're there to help protect you. To put you in good hands. There's an Allstate agent right here in your community.
Handyman Salvage is your home improvement headquarters with thousands of square feet of hardware, plumbing, electrical supplies, all under one roof at our new location at Highway 136 West behind the Kangaroo just off I-59. While you're there, check out our prices on custom-built cabinets. And we have a full selection of office supplies now at Handyman Salvage. Make sure to ask about discounts for contractors and builders. Handyman Salvage, where we sell lumber. Handyman Salvage, Highway 136 West behind the Kangaroo just off I-59. Trenton. Join us for the Radio and TV Classified, weekdays at 9 a.m., 8 Central on KWN TV.
All right, back now to Sheriff Talk here on KWN, visiting with the sheriffs as we always do every week here on the program. Glad to have Sheriff Cross back after an election cycle, and here in Georgia, the primaries were just held here a couple of weeks ago, and you have no Democratic opposition. So there is, matter of fact, all of our local races were decided here in the primaries.
Yeah, they're over. We get to sit back and watch the presidential election.
Well,
that's going to be us.
I say that. Yeah, I say that kind of. Cautiously, I guess.
Well, no matter which side you're on as far as the presidential, whether you're on the Democratic or the Republican side, it will be interesting. There's no doubt about it on either side. So there's going to be a lot to watch. It'll be it's something that we've never seen in our lifetime. That's going on.
Those debates that they'll probably have at some point in the fall, or they may have to have the police there.
Yeah. What happened to the Kennedys and the Roosevelts? Those are the good days, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting summer, but you don't have to. I mean, as far as the date is concerned, all the local races have been decided now, so that is a good thing. Bonnaroo, Riverbend. Before we wrap things up, we want to touch on it again. Marion County. 24 east and westbound all the way through Dade and Marion, Hamilton County over towards. It goes through Coffee County and that's some of the counties over there.
Just a little bit of Grundy and a little bit of Franklin, but then it's just a small amount. Then you go into Coffee County,
and that's where it's actually held. In Coffee County.
Yeah, in Coffee County.
But a lot of traffic going to be on the road.
I don't know what mile marker is, but I'm sure if you get over there, you'll.
It's where you start slowing down, getting close to it.
The only thing I would suggest if you were going, maybe use the bathroom before you go, because like I told you, I was talking to a guy last year, and I believe he told me he said 8 hours in the car.
Wow.
Make sure you got a full tank of gas.
Tank of gas.
Well, that's true. And a lot of times you get caught up in traffic. Maybe you're having a problem with, don't have water in the radiator, and it'll start running hot. They ain't know where to go. And then that causes more traffic problems on top of that.
And I don't even know who the headliners are this year. I hadn't heard.
I haven't heard about Bonnaroo.
Somebody told me that they had the people that actually started had sold out to a corporation, but I hadn't. Normally they put that out everywhere, but I hadn't seen anything.
Hey, I haven't heard a lot about Bonnaroo, but Riverbend, I think REO Speedwagon. There's some different groups that are going to be there.
I believe they're coming.
Hart, I think you're right. It's going to be a big week. It's always, in Chattanooga you got that small area there, and you put 100 and something thousand people there. I mean, that's a feat in itself to put everything together.
We went over one time. My wife did see Chicago.
I was there.
I was about as far as here from Chicago from them. It was 150,000 people there that night.
Right. Had lots and lots of people. They put on a good.
It's just shoulder to shoulder, and I hadn't been back.
And that may be the last time that I was ever there too. I just, to be able to go to all that crowd. But just be safe out there as you make your plans. A lot of outdoor activities. All the graduations are over.
The stage is that they use is actually docked in Marion County. They take it up there about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It sits there on the side of the river all year, and that's the main stage they use for the concert.
For Riverbend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sheriffs, we hope that you're going to have a safe weekend. I know a lot of your deputies are doing a lot of trash pickups going on in the areas here, both in Dade County and Marion County. A lot of activity happening. So, And Lieutenant, congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir.
And I guess as we wrap things up, we certainly do appreciate it. We'll get together and talk about other things that are going to be happening. We'll be 4th of July before too much longer.
Sure will.
All right. Sheriff Ray Cross from Dade County, and Sheriff Bo Barnett from Marion County, and Lieutenant Baker with the Dade County Sheriff's Department. We appreciate them being here. And, of course, we appreciate you at home watching us right here on another edition of Sheriff Talk. We'll see you next week.
You've been watching Sheriff Talk, live from the studios of KWN TV7, all around the tri-state area, as we give you information that you can use concerning law enforcement. Join us again next week for another episode of Sheriff Talk, a public affairs program of KWN TV7.